A shalom to the elect of Israel. All praises, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, never well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect of Israel. And this lesson is going to, as you see, the title says corrupt, cruel, Americans send Trump. It says GOP a midterm warning. It says nearly half of Americans would describe President Trump as corrupt, racist, and cruel. A new polling full of midterm warning signs for Republicans. And we already know what the scriptures say, man. We really, living in them times, huh? This is the book of Isaiah 19 and verse 4. And the Egyptians, talking about the Americans, these people of this new modern day Egypt, says, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. Okay? And this one, is talking about, let me just say Trump has to be him, has to be that one. All right? It says, in a New Economist / YouGov poll of 1,682 adults published Monday, about 56% of Americans strongly or somewhat disapprove of Trump's job performance, and they're using harsh words to show their discontent. All right, and here, I'm going to get right to the point. The last bullet point says that 46% of adults would describe the president as cruel, compared to 22% who don't consider him to be so, and 32% have no opinion. And I mean, why do you think this is? Look at the stuff that he's doing, in office, all right, which ultimately affects the people. And we told you, people, you Jakes, right, is the book of Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and this beast represents America. And he had two horns like a lamb, which is your two political parties, your two American political parties, which is the Republican and Democratic Party. Okay? And Trump is a part of the Republican Party, and it says like a lamb because they come to act as if they're for your benefit. It says, and he spake as a dragon going back to Draco, or Dracon, which goes back to, Draco was a Athenian lawmaker, but he was known for making harsh laws. So he spake as a dragon going into the harsh measurements and laws he'd make. And Salakia, if I have to relocate, all right, you're going to hear some noise if I have to, if anything. But look at it, man. Look at what's going on, okay? And we know that ultimately this is all the Lord's doing. Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart, meaning mind, is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, okay? So there you go. The Lord is making Trump, put things into effect for prophecy. It says what they're saying. The ultimate poll was November 5th, 2024, when nearly 80 million Americans overwhelmingly elected President Trump to deliver on his popular and common sense agenda, White House spokesperson Davis Engel said in an email statement, right? And this man always talked about that he was, going to make America great again. That's what he said. But I mean, look what's happening. It's lucky. I'm going to have to relocate. All right. Bear with me 1 second real quick. Let me just get out of there. Just hold on 1 second. Give me 1 second real quick, man. But anyways, all right. It says the president has already made historic progress, not only in America, but around the world. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. Okay? That could be a bad thing as well. Let's see what some of the comments say. It says, who would have ever thought a lifelong con man and an educated felon would have consequences? It says, we deserve better. See you in the midterms. All right? And everybody, and these Americans, they have mixed feelings about this man, And as it says in Isaiah 19, it's locking for the background noise. As it says in Isaiah 19 and 2, and I will set, hold on 1 second. It's like, I'm gonna just go outside. There's a lot of commotion going on. Forgive me. Salaki. Bad, bro. Just bear with me 1 second. You know, if it don't work, if you can't make it work, you gotta make it labor. All right. If you can't make it work, you gotta find another way to make labor, man. All right. But Isaiah 19 and 2 says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." Okay. Talking about the Lord is gonna cause something to make these American people fight each other. All right. He's gonna divide them, and this place already is divided. You know, it already is on a certain level. All right. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother and everyone against his neighbor, city against city and kingdom against kingdom. And it's going to get to that point to where these people are going to, these American people are going to be divided and fighting one another. As Yahushua said, Matthew the 12th chapter, right? At verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. See, and that's the thing. Even, Yahushua was making a point here, okay? He was speaking the truth, It's supposed to be the United States of America. This place is divided. It says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And looking at it in this lens, Esau is the physical counterpart of spiritual demon Satan. Okay, your left-hand angel, he's the so-called white man is his physical counterpart. Okay, and one of his main kingdom here is America. Okay, and this place is divided. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. But, man, I just thought that was something. I looked on when that came up on the news saying a bunch of Americans described Trump as being cruel, man. So, Lord willing, we here, man. So, with that, all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, that were well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. Shalom to the elect.